Okay. Everyone remember the rules?
2046 year, the Robinson family is playing a card game on a spaceship.
Completing deorbit burn.
Helmets on.
The ship is about to enter the atmosphere.
Music off. Atmospheric disturbance detected.
The parents reassure the children. Meanwhile,
Impact detected.
entry into the atmosphere is not going according to plan. Autopilot will execute an emergency landing.
Impact. Brace for impact.
After making sure everyone is alive, the Robinsons rush to leave the ship. They find themselves on an unknown glacial planet. The family starts unloading supplies when suddenly their ship sinks rapidly into the depths of the freezing water, along with all their supplies. In a flashback, we see the Robinson family celebrating Christmas. Their father, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, John Robinson, communicates with his family via video call, and the eldest daughter named Judy shows him cookies she baked according to her grandmother's recipe. The younger daughter, Penny, asks her father where he is at the moment, but her mother, Maureen, is sure that John won't say it. Their son, Will, takes this question seriously. If it's night on the video, it means that his father is definitely not in Europe, Africa, or the Middle East. Suddenly, Penny interrupts him, having recognized their hedge in the video and realized that their father is really close.
You guys are too smart.
The whole family joyfully runs to meet their father, and he announces that he pulled many strings to come home for the holidays. Suddenly, the joy turns into concern when the news reports that a large unidentified object is approaching Earth. The action shifts to an unknown planet. Judy examines Maureen's leg, which she injured during the collision, and confirms that it's broken. Suddenly, Maureen decides to take off her helmet, and the entire family anxiously tries to stop her because the atmosphere on the planet hasn't been tested yet. However, Maureen points out the hole in her husband's protective suit, proving the safety of the atmosphere.
If the air was toxic, you'd be dead by now.
John and the kids also remove their helmets, and after a month spent traveling, the whole family finally enjoys the fresh air. After some time, the Robinsons set up a camp and try to figure out which planet they landed on. Will claims they left the spaceship, the Resolute, which was carrying selected families of colonists to planets in the Alpha Centauri system, halfway between home and the colony. Maureen corrects her son and specifies that Earth is no longer their home. She believes that this planet is different from all the others they've encountered. It's habitable, and all its indicators are very similar to Earth's. Maureen thinks they are very lucky to be here. And what would you do if you were on an unfamiliar planet? Share your plan in the comments. However, the rest of the family doesn't share the mother's optimism. After landing on the planet, they notice that other Jupiters, the ships of the other colonists, have also crash-landed here. Earlier, Penny fired a distress signal rocket, and now she's relentlessly trying to contact the other colonists, but no one responds. Will is confident that the Resolute will send a rescue mission for them, and his mother agrees with him. Judy notices that Will is feeling unwell, and the boy complains of chest pain. John reassures his son, saying it's normal after the impact. However, Judy responds irritably that it may be normal for him, but not for Will, and their father no longer has the right to command them. Soon, Maureen announces that in about 6 hours, the sun will set, and the temperature on the planet will drop to -60 degrees Celsius, causing the batteries in their protective suits to fail. All the water will also freeze, and Jupiter 2 will be encased in a 20-meter thick layer of ice. The Robinsons realize they won't survive in such conditions, but John comes up with a plan. He suggests diving into the water to retrieve a large battery to recharge their suits. The upper hatch of the ship is broken and not too deep, but only Will can squeeze into it. Maureen strongly objects to risking her son's life, but John assures her that Will can do it. After all, like the others, he underwent training and passed all the tests. John doesn't listen to Maureen's pleas and prepares the frightened boy for the dive. Judy notices her brother's fear and suddenly jumps into the water in his place. John contacts Judy and reminds her that she won't fit through the upper hatch, but she chooses another way.
The supply room is too far from the aft airlock.
It's too risky.
Judy doesn't listen to her parents, who demand her to return as soon as possible, as they don't know when the water will start freezing. Finally, Judy retrieves one of the batteries, and at that moment, the water rapidly turns into ice. She throws the battery and tries to surface as quickly as possible, but she doesn't make it and gets trapped in the ice. Maureen tries to reassure her daughter, saying that her suit will keep her warm and there's enough oxygen for 5 more hours. Meanwhile, John anxiously notices that Maureen's condition worsens due to her broken leg. He assures her that they will definitely help Judy and insists she rest. John tries his best to break the ice, but he can't make any progress. And what would you do to get Judy out of the ice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Suddenly, John and Will notice a flash of white flame in the distance, and Will speculates that it's magnesium, a deposit of which they hit during the crash. Will notices that magnesium burns well, and the ice helps it burn even better. John and Will head off to get the magnesium, hoping to save Judy and leave Penny in charge. The action shifts to some time ago. Shortly after the unidentified object crashes to Earth, Maureen and Penny go to a store where Penny chooses expensive watches as a Christmas gift for their father. They don't believe he will make it home for the holidays, but deep down, Penny hopes he will. She tells her mother she'll buy the gift with her own money, but Maureen offers to pay with her card. While Penny looks at other items, Maureen asks the seller if they can return the watches if they're not needed. In the camp, Maureen wakes up, but Penny notices that her condition is getting worse. Judy tries to help and gives Penny detailed instructions for examining the broken leg. Then Judy concludes that her mother needs a minor operation. She explains the task using an ordinary steak as an example, and Penny, overcoming her fear, gets to work.
This is not Mom. This is steak.
Meanwhile, Will regains consciousness after the fall into a chasm and finds himself in an alien forest. The scared boy contacts his father and asks him to come down to him as quickly as possible. However, John realizes he must first help Judy, who has very little oxygen left. John promises to return for Will as soon as possible. Will agrees and waits for rescue in the unexplored forest. In the flashback, we learn that Will was very worried that he failed one of the tests and would be left on Earth. However, Judy never stopped supporting him and assured him that he would handle it and would fly with the whole family. After waking up from the surgery, Maureen tells Penny that they all left Earth hoping to find a better place to live, and now they must cope with all the difficulties.
Every problem has a solution.
Maureen recalls how she secretly corrected Will's data in the system to allow him to go into space. Will sets out to explore the unfamiliar forest and examines the mysterious vegetation. He tries again and again to contact the ships of other colonists, but no one responds. Soon, Will notices many burning broken trees. He approaches closer and sees a destroyed alien ship that also crashed on this planet. Amazed by what he sees, Will takes out his camera and records a message about the incredible discovery.
I'm the first human to discover evidence of an alien intelligence.
Will speculates that they all crashed at the same time, but he doesn't know why. He comes closer to the ship and finds that it suffered significant damage and is no longer operational. Furthermore, there's no one from the crew nearby. Suddenly, he hears a suspicious rustle from the depths of the forest. Will anxiously looks around and soon spots an alien creature. He runs in the opposite direction, trying to hide from the extraterrestrial being, but it keeps approaching. Hoping to find shelter from the danger, Will climbs up a tree. The terrified boy notices that only the lower part of the robot's body is following him. Will doesn't understand how the terrifying creature's legs can see him. As Will continues to look down, he doesn't realize that the upper part of the alien robot is stuck on the same tree. The extraterrestrial monster extends its terrifying limbs toward Will, scaring him to the core. Meanwhile, John Robinson, having obtained the magnesium, returns to the camp. Concerned, Maureen asks where Will is, but John says they split up and he'll go back for him after rescuing Judy.
I can only save one child at a time.
John gets to work and burns the first hole in the ice. From another flashback, we learn that shortly before the departure, John and Maureen separated. A month before the launch, Maureen contacts John and informs him that she and the children have been approved for the 24th group of colonists. Now Maureen asks John to sign all the necessary documents that will allow the kids to leave Earth. John is shocked by this news and accuses Maureen of wanting to take away his children. However, Maureen believes that he abandoned them by leaving for service, and that now he has a last chance to do right by the kids. In the alien forest, it's already dark. Will tries to contact his father and tells him that he is still in danger. Suddenly, a fascinating extraterrestrial butterfly lands on Will's hand. The boy watches the atypical insect in awe, and it soon lands on the robot's finger. The creature also attentively observes the butterfly, and Will realizes that the alien is just as much a guest on this planet as humans. Will wants to get to know the extraterrestrial better, but he notices that the lights on the alien's face start to dim, and the lower part of its body collapses to its knees. The boy sadly realizes that the dismembered robot won't survive. Meanwhile, a fire ignites in the forest due to the sparks, and it rapidly approaches their tree. Back at the camp, Will, Maureen, and Penny continue melting the ice and pumping out water. They can already see Judy's hand, but there's still much work to be done, and they have less than an hour left to save her. However, a rain begins, which negates all the Robinsons' hard work.
Mom, the temperature is dropping!
Despite everything, the Robinson family doesn't give up and starts all over again. Even though Judy has probably resigned herself to her grim fate, the fire in the forest intensifies and Will tries to contact his father again. With a trembling voice, he tells his father about the fire and that he probably won't escape the fiery trap. But the signal is absent and his father doesn't hear him. Suddenly, Will notices that the lower part of the alien starts to rise and approaches the upper part. The extraterrestrial being looks at its legs, but unfortunately cannot reconnect them. Risking his life, Will moves closer to the alien robot and starts cutting a branch with a wire, trying to help it survive.
No point in you dying too.
Dropping the alien to the ground, Will prepares for the inevitable end. However, after a few seconds, the parts of the alien's body come together. The gigantic robot, impressed by the remarkable act of the boy, picks up the astonished Will and leaves the blazing forest with him. John, Maureen, and Penny are desperate as they try to reach Judy, but without any outcome. They have nothing left to do but hold the unfortunate Judy's hand, preparing for her to meet her end in the icy trap. Suddenly, an alien approaches the camp, and panic engulfs the Robinsons. But suddenly, from behind the terrifying creature, the whole and unharmed Will appears, who immediately reassures the family, saying that the alien won't harm them. The alien robot approaches the hole and hears Judy's desperate sobs. It realizes that she is in danger and will ask for its help. The robot stretches out its hands and, radiating warmth, melts the ice. It helps Judy get out of the water and hands her to her family, who can't believe their luck. Then, Will ask the alien to ensure that their family doesn't freeze, and it warms the reunited Robinsons with the warmth of its hands. The action jumps back 12 hours ago to the massive spaceship, the Resolute. An alarm sounds and all the colonists are asked to board their shuttles and remain calm. Maureen reassures Will, saying that the evacuation is temporary and everything will be fixed soon. Suddenly, the same creature that saved the Robinsons appears on the Resolute. However, this time, it's on the ship with a different purpose: to destroy as many humans as possible. The Robinsons and other colonists rush to leave the crumbling the Resolute and head towards the unknown. It was the first episode of the series Lost in Space. I gotta say, it's off to a promising and intriguing start. I'm really curious to find out what exactly happened to Earth and what drove people to colonize new planets. But I hope that in the near future, we won't have to go searching for alternative places to live. Now, what do you think? Why did those alien robots attack the Resolute? And will anyone come to help the surviving colonists? Share your guesses in the comments.